Hello and welcome, guys. Today we continue our training about emotions and we find meanings in our emotions. We learn to deal with them in this training. And today, in particular, we're going to talk about emotional perfectionism and what it is. Emotional perfectionism includes several main ideas that you might have about emotions that can harm your ability to deal with emotions. So let's begin. First kind of emotional perfectionism is when you're trying to find one particular feeling that you're feeling. And if you don't find it, you start hyper analyzing, hyper thinking about it. Like, for example, you have mixed feelings, so you don't accept this as an answer and you try to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper to find one answer that fits what you imagine the ideal should be. In reality, oftentimes our internal life is too complex to just name it with one word, and sometimes it is enough to just say, I have mixed feelings, or that I feel something similar to sadness, but it's not quite sadness. I don't know how to call it. So it's fine to name your feelings in such vague term. You don't have to be overly perfectionist about it. And our goal is not to necessarily give a precise name to every feeling. Our goal is to use our understanding of emotions to deal with them better. And to deal with them better, you don't always need to be like perfectionist about knowing one concrete feeling. You can just say, I have mixed feelings. Next one, emotional perfectionism is separating your feelings in contradicting feelings, like bad and good feelings. Like, for example, you consider joy and calmness and happiness and so on, good feelings, and then you consider sadness or anger as bad feelings. And this, you separate feelings in two categories and you are being perfectionistic about it. Like, you get content when you have good feelings and you get upset when you have bad feelings. In reality, everybody has all kinds of feelings, so-called good feelings or bad feelings. We have it all, and it's impossible to completely repress or hide away or lose so-called bad feelings. They will always appear. It is normal, it is part of humanness, and it can be heavy sometimes, but this is our condition. You cannot just get rid of some emotions. They will still come up, and you better see them instead of trying to close your eyes on them. And then also, this view of feelings as good and bad can be associated with a lot of pain and struggle, which are unnecessary. Like, if you associate that some emotions are good and some emotions are bad, you might associate that if I am angry, I'm bad, or something like that. While in reality, emotions are same for everybody. What matters is how we react and how we behave under these emotions. So, and this can be changed. And also, I encourage you to think about emotions in the same way you would think about food or adding spices to food. You see, if you only have like a meal that is completely only sweet, it's not that interesting, it's not that delicious, it's just plain sweet. It's nothing that special. You don't fall in love with such a meal. However, if you have something that has exactly right combination of different nuances, of different tastes, of different textures, then you feel like, oh my god, this is wonderful meal. So, for example, you have some sweet taste, you have some sour taste, and then you have some interesting texture, and then you have some nice smell of this food. And all this together creates the wonderful meal. And same with our emotions. If you just feel only joyful all the time and you don't have those nuances, you cannot enjoy all the beauty about feelings, because actually feelings have a lot of beauty around them. And once you stop seeing emotions as bad emotions to avoid and good emotions to follow, you start seeing how bad emotions, so-called bad emotions, can be actually pleasant. Like, for example, light sadness can be pleasant and somehow soft and calming after a long day, or how anger can be connecting you with some power inside and can feel energizing for you and can feel like mobilizing for you. So all different kinds of emotions, they are unique and they can be like a beautiful experience if we let go of this idea that some of them are bad. Okay, and also their combinations are what make life beautiful. Like if you only have, like if you look at any piece of art, you don't see just everything in gray. Okay, what is interesting is when there is light and shadow, when there are different colors. So yes, instead of trying to think about feelings in this like black and white way, that those feelings are bad, these feelings are good, try to look at them as if you are a chef creating a perfect dish where you combine sweetness and bitterness and sourness and all that. Or like a painter that chooses different colors, and together these colors make this painting captivating. And if you have only, let's say, orange color in the painting, it's not gonna get the same grab on your emotional life. And same with music. It's rare that music is captivating when it's just repetitive and known and always kind of the same and always sounding perfect and everything is just organized according to some ideal. Music gets wonderful when there is some kind of unpredictability, when our brains get surprised, when we find some new combination of sounds, and this creates new experiences that we have. So basically same for feelings, and I encourage you to let go of this idea that feelings are good or bad, and try to not judge but to actually observe how they feel and to actually experience so-called bad feelings, and maybe you will even like it. Like as I said, sadness can feel soft and calming, or anger can feel empowering, and so on and so on. Next idea, third idea that people who have this emotional perfectionism might have is this idea that mixed feelings are bad. That mixed feelings mean that you're doing something wrong or that you're making the wrong choice or something like this. In reality, mixed feelings are just normal. If you have mixed feelings, it can mean actually several things. First of all, you are facing some really difficult decisions because it's in school that we learn there are good and bad answers. In real life, oftentimes we have many good answers, many bad answers, and some answers are a combination of both. And sometimes, and it actually even varies, like a good answer for you might be bad answer for somebody else, and so on. And in those circumstances, we very rarely have some decisions about which we feel completely only happy. And it's normal to feel mixed feelings about choices. Like for example, if you finish in school and going to study in another city, on one hand you might feel happy that something new is starting. At the same time, you might feel anxious, like how you're gonna make it. You might feel like you're gonna miss your family or your friends in your hometown, and so on. So you can have this like combination of different emotions about the same situation, and this is perfectly normal and perfectly fine. And basically every time you have mixed feelings, there is some reason for it, and it's not bad, it's normal. And if you live in an interesting life, you will have many mixed feelings. It's normal, and this is just how it is. So get away from this idea from school that there are like good answers and bad answers. In real life, it's more complicated, and because of it, mixed feelings are also normal. So instead of thinking about mixed feelings being bad or meaning that you don't know what you want or whatever, you can think of them as a sign that you have rich internal life, because it takes a lot of cognitive ability, emotional ability to notice and experience mixed feelings, several emotions at once. And also, it can mean that you are honest with yourself about the world, about your choices, because you don't only pay attention to good or bad things, you notice both. And this way you might be honest with yourself about the way the world is. And it also can mean that you understand and accept complexity of the world. Like, you don't see the world in black and white, you see all the nuances, and you are not like certain that these things is like this and that is like that. You see all the nuances and you remain curious, and you see the complexity in the world. And this is also a wonderful quality to have. And it can also be a sign of very rich mindfulness to your own emotions, to what is going on in your life, and so on. And also can signify that you have life experience and that you accept life as it is, because mixed emotions are what reflects more accurately our life, our reality. In our reality, it's not black and white. There are many contradicting, complicated, complex things in the world. So it's completely normal to have mixed feelings about it all. So mixed feelings are not wrong. And actually, if you have mixed feelings, it can signify that you have rich internal life, that you see complexity in this world, and you are not scared by it, and you are not destroyed by it. You tolerate this discomfort of complexity, and also you are capable of seeing the richness of this experience. So it's wonderful. Number four, what we have as emotional perfectionism is idealization of other people. It's when we imagine that our feelings are weird and strange and complex, and others have it much better than we, and they have it right. Like, like that, for example, other people always love their partner and never like somebody else, or that other people have children and they love them forever and always and never feel annoyed, or that other people never feel angry, or something like that. This is just not true. If somebody is trying to show that they always feel confident, they never feel upset, they never feel lonely, they never feel sad, I'm telling you, it's a lie. Okay, it's a mask most often. Like, if you see some public figure, or if you see somebody posting things like this online, it's a lie. It's not possible just to always feel only certain things and not have some contradicting complex emotions. Contradicting complex emotions are part of life. It's impossible to avoid them. Sooner or later we face them. So be certain, like, at least in my experience, and as long as I read, it's really impossible to see someone who is always only happy, who is always only confident, or something like that. It's just not present. Um, and sometimes we have this idea that we are supposed to know what we want, and we're supposed to know how we feel, and we're supposed to avoid bad choices and make good choices, and that other people, they are motivated and they know what they want and they go there. And this is emotional perfectionism and perfectionism about life in general. in reality, in order to build career that we want, or relationship that we want, or friendships that we want, we need to go through a lot of life experience of making mistakes, encountering disappointments, and getting our hopes destroyed, and being in doubt about what we are doing in life, and so on and so on. So all of this way, with many ups and downs and mistakes and different crises and so on and so on, this is normal, and this is how you actually build the life that you want. Nobody just comes out of where we come from and just like, oh, done, perfect life. It doesn't happen like this. So stop beating yourself up. It's normal not to know what you want to do. It's normal not to know what you want to be in 10 years. It's normal to feel confused in this life. It's normal to have contradicting feelings. It's normal to like several things at once and being and find it difficult to choose one particular thing. Life is very rich and very, there are tons of different roads, and when we choose something we lose other options. So it's completely normal to have complex feelings, contradicting feelings, and to not be able to figure things out from the first attempt. Oftentimes we need at least a dozen of attempts before we get what we actually love and what we actually want. So yes, don't compare yourself to others as if they are ideal and you are not, because I promise to you, other people are not ideal. And if you see someone ideal, or someone who is like all wonderful and never has anything confusing or wrong and so on, most likely it's a mask. Most likely it's just a public like a appearance, and in reality they are completely different. So yeah, and this is all about emotional perfectionism. Um, there can be other ways that this perfectionism can appear in. Like, for example, you might think that if I feel angry, I should always be able to solve it being calm and doing a proper conversation with somebody. But in reality, when you get angry, you start crying and you cannot even talk properly. This is fine, okay? Don't be too demanding. Our emotions are not supposed to be expressed in only one right way. And if you are in a relationship that is secure, and your friends, your family, and other people with just some wisdom and life experience, they won't judge you for being a bit weird. It's fine. Everybody is weird unless they hide it. Which is also, why do they hide it? Maybe they're perfectionist. So don't hide your weirdness, and I'll see you in the next video when we're gonna talk more about such interesting, ambiguous, contradicting emotions. And I see you soon. Bye bye.